Namhlanje go RGB, we get Dr Malinga's prescription for Maporisa. We learn which songs make celebs feel like summer is here. Then we ruffle some feathers because it's Pride Month.
To make sure that your Saturday night is filled with more stars than the trends list. Mna, the cardboard cut out.
And our job here on RGB is to expose all the goings on in the celeb world while having more fun on the job.
Now, one thing that can never be touched on enough, just like the celebrities we mentioned, is that October is Breast Awareness Month. We urge all you ladies and gentlemen to please check for lumps regularly, because the quicker you catch it, it means that you have a higher chance of beating it.
What do you suck? Our first guest tonight is hitmaker who is involved in one of the most interesting situations in local music right now.
Now, here to share his side of the Amapiano beef that could lead to some pew-pew in real life. To tell us more about some new music as well, RGB is excited to share today some truths and time with a hitmaker, a businessman, Mr. Dr. Mr. Malinga. Mr. Via Orlando.
Mr.
Doc, thank you for coming.
Hey, COVID, by staying na ikona.
Anyway.
Yeah, sizagqoka ama mask nani.
What do you right, Dr. Malinga, after that time wawusithuka kuba sasigezele outfit yakho? No, what do you right? What do I call a knock?
Mina ngiyahlasela mina. Mina ngithanda ikolile. Yabo, yeah.
Let's talk about new music first before singene kumgosi of the matter.
Yeah, the album is called The Doctor of Music. So ngiyazifaka kuma doctorate of music nani. So yeah, iphumile, angazi ukuthi iphumile or iphumile mara checka kuma iTunes and stuff. So yeah, yes.
No, so besikhona. Besike sathetha nge-COVID. How did it affect you actually as a performing artist, having to shut everything down?
Sihlele emakhaya lapha uzadlala nengane ungafuna ukudlala nengane.
Nizawubhadla nizala. Nathi uzala kuzolula manje.
Yeah.
Kasixelele ngalo ngoma yakho onayo no DJ Clio.
Yeah. Oh. Ngithi hallelujah ngiqale kanjalo. That one is a gospel song. Wakhumbula thina sikhule siculela amakuku emshadweni singenamali emakhaya. So uCleo wangixelela wathi send songs. Yabona, send songs lezi bocule emngcwabeni. So then I was sending voice notes, yabona ngimsendela uCleo lapho. Nini mangifika lapho ngathola magic. La wenzile nami ngathi voice. Yenye into. Ayikakajwayeleke mara bazoyijwayela ngoba izoba released. Hallelujah.
So DJ Clio is one of the DJs you get along with, but ukhona lo Thong Maporis.
Uqalile. Let me
No, take a sip of your water. We have all night.
Mari water ngale cup nina nani. Ana budget ne? It's not something le deep lena ngathi ifuna bo Boko Haram nani. It's something light kuphela from Galawa Jazz me. I'm a misunderstanding. And then ngisho ukuthi kunomunye omxelele lately. Angazi ukuthi besilwelana lately. Yabona. Mara uladelo yabona ama delay Spaceman is delay ukuyisa indaba zaka 2012 yabona. So maybe that's why uMaporisa wakwata lapho, but mina andimenzanga nto. So yena wabuya shem waxolisa.
Don't know why we tell wena about the
Maporisa siyagwerana. Yeah, but we were wrong. Yabona. Body shame naye maybe nalento lentana ukuyikhuluma le yamasuthu le. Akhuluma ta isuthu yakho wathi yabona. Manje mina ngisho mangibuyisela amagama, I'm very strong. Ngishabo heart attack vela. Mangithi ma yabona
wena.
yabona so maybe akaphatheka ngakahle ngoba mina angikho right emlomeni.
Let's talk about your family, because the family yakho has grown.
Yes, raising umntwana or abantwana ngoba baningi 5 ne. Raising abantwana is very easy when unomfazi ofana nowaka Dr Malinga.
So 5 ngoku. Are you planning to have any more? Ngoba ndiyabona ntoba mhlawumbe ngathi stamina unaso.
Having children is not as plain. Yabona uthando liyaplana lona ngokwalo. Yeah, kwaMalinga as prevent.
So nani ngayisusa indaba.
So ngamanye amagama ungahlanza anytime.
Nomlenze wakho nje at any time, Doc.
It's a boy. It's a girl. It's a boy.
Ungathi, what are you looking forward to the most? Being on level 1 and the possibility of getting back on stage.
People must just take care of themselves and do whatever they ebajabulisayo. And guess what? Can you feel it? Yebo ngoba manje sibhizi siswimisa abantu singafuni ukuswimisa abantu. Ama resort. Yes. Then again, I want to talk to people ukuthi bangalimazani kuma social media. Ngoba abantu bayazibulala because of ama social media. For an example, yabona nale ndaba yakamakhazi le. Yabona indaba kamakhazi le, people must be sensitive ngayo. Cameraman, angazi cameraman lo wenze njani mara ukhiphe konke okukhona, but abantu bangahlaseli on that one, yabona. Sonke sinazo lezi zinto lezo, like ama problems none. We just have to support each other.
And who would you say that out of all of us artists alapha South Africa ngoku eziphumayo?
Yeah.
Zininzi artists ezikhoyo ngathi ngompho yena uqondo bana if I can get to work with that one.
Hey,
Just right now.
yeah, la lefuni nyawo leli think bon so to me it's a king of my piano, so I would like to work with him Maporisa as we worked before, and also Makazi, and then Master KG and Nabo Banbani. Yeah, ngikhona ku inbox lapho banga inboxa ama vocals akhona.
Yeah. Ikhona beef obuke wanayo no vocalistic.
Hey wena man.
Sendlela ndiyatsho man uba no.
Yeah, water first.
Ikhona nje enye inantsika social media altercation.
We love the boy, we love vocalistic, mara kuna attitude why kiva lapha in Sprite lapha, even the owner was not happy. So we are reprimanding. Angijumela ukhuluma isilungunyana sana.
Yes.
Yeah, reprimanding, yabona. Yeah, so ngabhala lapho ku social media ngathi so, and then he apologized again naye. Ama celebrity now anokuswenka, hey, banokuba difficult, yabona. And then those young ones, they must respect njengoba ubaba Oskido wakhuluma, they respect ama growth man, yabona.
Wena no nasty scene, is that right?
Angizazi ukuthi ukuphi loyo.
Ndiyayicinga man lama files wakho
Angijula ngathatha picture, yazi umfana lona. Ngathatha picture naye, ngabona mina mangithatha picture ngithi.
Yes.
Ama lips nyana. Yabona. Manje mangithi ubeka angazi beef or ukudla or wini. Ubhale beef esandleni sami. Angazi ukuthi besho ukuthini. Mara siqedile mina naye. Expiring date isendlule kudala.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
man, for coming
what
to join us. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, ngithi thanks,
Benifuna ukubona nalamlenze man, but ungene nje.
Uyangithola.
Ungene so.
But thanks, bye.
Anyway, Betuna, one of the most important lessons one can learn apa ebomini is when to take time out so you can, come back even better than before. It's time for RGB to do just that. We'll see you right after this. Coming up, we learn which songs make celebs feel like summer is here. Then we find out who's nominated at this year's Feather Awards.
The continent's gossip leader is back to drive new happiness into your life. Sifana boyfriend ka Faith Gates, man. And speaking of happiness, a lot of us get our good vibes from umculo, oucho.
Now, during the launch of Muruo record label, RGB quizzed the celebs in attendance about what songs are becoming the anthem to their summer. Here's what they had to say.
O tlile mona na ka jeno re a utlwa ho a binwa ho monate ho celebrate-iwa se segolo se nna ke batlang ho seba wena, what is your summer hot track hona jwale?
Ke Sweet and Short by DJ Finzo. That's it.
Simple.
Arganame buchilo sa hona fezi jibe tsaba kondeleli nana kitima nyamba nayo man.
Anything by Makati girl.
Sega Puil Senshi Samo and Ziwa Mo.
We know December says I know they're going to be different. It's about hot vexed guy, hot vexed girl. Are you vaccinated, Cooling?
Yes! Got the jab, yes.
Got the jab.
Jab.
Ke tlhabile speti se le kanang Finzo. Se ska, wo.
nne ndo no vaccinate ngori ndo fhedza uri a zwi ṱoḓi muṅwe muthu ane mbudze zwithu zwavhuḓivhuḓi zwi nyaga ene muṅwe ane ḓi humbulela nne ndo ḓi humbulela ngo ḓivha uri mini ndi nyako mbeka tsho uri ndi dzigigi nne December hei tshi ngo lokiwa lini ndi khou nyako ḓi wana ndi khou ḓiphina that's why ndo ṱuwa ndo vaccinate so ndi khou ri vhathu vhange nnḓa vhatevheli vhanga nne ndo vaccinate zwi khou dzhia ṅwedzi a huna zwo iteaho lunei ri songo shavha ri songo vha na nyofho kha ri ḓo ri o vaccinate.
Who in the industry right now do you think is being slept on?
Young Stunner is bringing the heat. Like Young Stunner is, but he's coming. Like I trust his process. He's really coming.
There was a moment I felt Pretty Ugly was slept on, and what he did is he took that and he turned it around, and he's like one of the hottest ones out.
And then do awards really matter? Kappa, it's the numbers that will do the talking.
For an artist, it's all about the craft. It's all about the hard work that they put into it and the love for the music at the end of the day.
The awards are cool, yeah, but the numbers say a lot. Yeah.
It's the size of the thinking. So the accolades don't really matter. I mean, sharp, they'll give you a little chip on your shoulder. A trophy will never get old, but it's the size of your thinking. It's how are you going to affect the world? How are you going to make a change? Like what we're seeing tonight, yeah.
You release the music, ni wisa ka YouTube, numbers don't lie. YouTube yamba ngori bangafani.
If you could have two artists in one recording studio right now that we know they're going to give us a hit song, who are those people?
Rouge, baby, and Youngsters TPT.
Pharrell and Maphorisa.
Basta, Maphorisa as well, obviously with Kabza.
Jazzy Q, Kabza the Small, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But tomorrow.
You guys, and if you could write a song about yourself, what would the title be?
It will be Kya Baba.
Siyabulela ke bantu for all of the warm memories. Yes, Samora, it's very hard to believe that this is the final season.
Well, think of it like this, Winners Nazo. It's like a party. If you stay too long, you end up having to wash the dishes. Now, RGB is leaving just at the peak with nothing but happy memories.
Now, one thing about coffee is that iyathetisa sana. So recently, we attended the Nescafe Recoffee 50th birthday celebration. Here's what celebrities had to tell us about their favorite South African lingo.
So, Revoni ko memong ya today gore ba re express your South Africanness. Please describe for me your South Africanness.
Using my own language to sing songs.
Yeah.
Kilobedu from Limpopo originally, obviously.
Just staying true to yourself and not trying to be anybody else but yourself.
The fact that we are now this melting pot of everything these days, and I love it. Yeah, man. Man. Yeah, and that's why the genre Mapiano works as well, is because Rikenya everything got and soul and R&B and mama, and that's why today I look like.
Nah. No, you look nice. No, you look nice. Very nice. Very nice.
We are the only country that has lingua emnati, like what eta zwagala, zwagala gayi heta uhandet uzet, all those lingua, and we've got amazing music.
Now, what are some of your favorite South African words?
Ola eta ish. Ntwana, Mabedeza, Mchita, Bongwana, Tipapa.
Kerata bo umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu bo uzokhomba umzono jwala.
Kerata godo defa.
Yes.
Lewanita mus.
And what are the three things that makes our country unique?
South Africa has got that special thing that many countries don't have. The diverse cultures. And yeah, everyone has diverse culture, but they don't have the history we have. And the history we have really separates us from the rest. Yeah, manralo sometimes, but when we get it right.
We are laughing, we are welcoming, and there's no place like South Africa.
The music, the fashion, the lingo.
What are some of your favorite South African fashion trends?
Shibelani. Shibelani, teka.
I think Ndebele kind of rounds off everything that we are. Everybody, it rounds off Sizulu because they've got those things, It rounds off Shangani because of the coupleness. It rounds off Mavenda. So all the colors, you get them when it comes to the Ndebele print or the Ndebele swag of doing things.
I'm enjoying wearing our local, brands, and giving them support, and it's good, and I encourage everyone to continue to support, you know, our local brands in fashion, in music, in any business, whether it's business ya dijo or ya dipapa or whatever. Let's support.
And then let's get a discount. So ke batla go tseba go tswa ho wena he hona jwale hore ke dijo tse feng tsa South Africa tse leng go le wena o motlotlo ka tsona go bana tse tsona ke tsona tse ke ratang di.
Oh, bathong ke tse ke semeletse ka ting. Ke motho le ting, guys. Maguru na motoko.
Me, I love pap and chicken.
Mogodu, manqina, minoto, dombolo, papa, voroso.
Papa, no, I got the second time I got Papa, no. Who's your favorite South African and why?
Myself.
Give me a reason.
I am phenomenal.
My Yvonne Chaka Chaka, she's right here. And I love her very much, and I think she looks amazing, and she has done amazing for the country.
All the amazing women in South Africa, they are our favorite people.
No kerata bona Angele, Ukipa, Lingo first of all. Drive, fashion, echo.
Yes, Samora, you know there's nothing better than local for me, especially since the borders zivalile. But if you see my highlights and you know my lives, then they pack out all the time.
Let us not lie and make it seem like if you had the option to leave the country, that you'd actually be eating local. And on that bombshell, it's time for us to take a very short commercial break. We'll be back after this. After the break, we find out who's nominated for the Feather Awards.
Abantu, the only show that exposes more of a celebrity's life than a cell phone hack ever could, Nancy Ibuyile. Now, October is National Pride Month, and locally, awareness and education projects are basically in full swing.
Now, one of those happened to be the biggest awards show on any calendar, the Feather Awards. Here to share what this year's installment of the most fabulous awards show under the African sun has in store for us, RGB is proud to be joined in studio by founder of the initiative, Thami Dish, and an ally to the LGBTQIA+ community, Penny Lebyane.
Welcome. It's always so good to see you guys. Can you tell us a little bit about the nominations?
What do you want to know?
We want to know who's been nominated for the cutest couple.
The cutest couple nominees are Liesel and Musa, Sylvester and Musi,
and
Latoya and Latoya.
The attention to also making sure that people who make it on the nominations list really speak to the issues of of the community. I think that's very, very important.
If you ask me whether I regret having lots of celebrities on the show nominated for the first 3 years, no, I don't regret it, because if I think about it now, you wouldn't even know who Sipugazi Nombade is, who Virginia Magwaza is.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know all these, Roche Kester, who's nominated. You wouldn't know Puti Minaj. You wouldn't know Steve Litsike. You wouldn't know all these incredible humans who are our advocates and our champions, you know? We wouldn't be talking a lot about Beverly Dissy. You wouldn't even talk about like Simon Goli.
It's great, it's glitz, it's glam, and we're celebrating the community, but also there are these issues where people go through, homelessness.
COVID-19 exposed that we're lacking because we don't have shelters in this country for queer people.
So the theme for this year being Queer Lives Matter, which obviously is a global conversation that is currently happening. And I think issues around the continent when it comes to queer lives, there is a network on the ground, but the challenge obviously is at policy and government level and being able to engage. But I mean, plans are there.
Pride Month. What do you think it means to the queer community in South Africa?
I think it's a time really to take stock in terms of the issues that they deal with on daily basis, that they advocate for. But it's also a time to just sort of hold us as a people accountable, as much as it's a moment of celebration for the queer community.
We're not just getting together and partying. And yes, we do need some time or to create spaces that are safe for us, but we're actually a bunch of a very traumatized community that finds, you know, the lighter side of life in everything. But I don't think we really understand the scarring that we continue to create. And so when we do this kind of work, you hope that the generation that comes after us doesn't have to go through half the crap that we've endured as a country and as queer people now.
Well, how much of the partying is actually a celebration of the fact that we've actually made it? You know, because there are so many young people who do not make it.
Yeah.
I think pride also is for allies.
It's for allies.
I think it's also for allies because of visibility. And what we're seeing now, which is one of the categories there is best initiative in the public sector and private sector, whatever. Because there's a lot of pink washing that happens. It's National Pride Month and whatever, and people are like, we're gonna change our logo, but
slap a rainbow onto it and put it out.
You know, I think activism is done on a daily basis by different people on multiple levels. There are people in offices, there are people in at taxi ranks. There are trans women on a daily basis walking the streets in their heels and their hair and their face beat and they are rocking it. And those are the people that we want to celebrate because that's what real pride looks like. It's Pride 365 days, not Pride Month. Because suddenly, for a month, my existence must be a subject matter. It can't.
Sometimes let people just live.
Simply
for existence.
Yeah.
Because when the straights are having a party, it's not always in defiance of or in celebration of. Sometimes the straights can just have a party because they just want to have a party.
Absolutely.
And I think part of reclaiming our humanity is to say we can also. I think let's not get into the semantics right now, but you know the dichotomy I'm speaking about.
We see a lot of well-known personalities in South Africa who have a major queer community following. And then you have an incident like the one, you know exactly where I'm going with this, right? What is your opinion on the altercation that took place or allegedly took place?
I just don't condone violence. You know, I think I also speak to, you know, we need to understand our temperament, our emotions, how to manage ourselves in public spaces, but even in private spaces. But yes, we can have moments of whatever you want to call it.
Lapse in judgment?
Lapse in judgment, if that's the correct word. But I think one of the biggest problems that we have in our country is public figures who don't want to account truthfully when they've had, you know, these kind of situations, outbursts. You know, it's like they don't want to bring their real story, real life emotions to it. They want to duck and dive, PR, and all of those things. But then at the same time, you know, alcohol is a big problem in our country. It's a big problem as well with people with influence in public spaces. I don't think people speak, you know, firmly to what it leads to. I think, you know, we've seen it in COVID-19, how people just wanted alcohol. But the reality of it, it's a big problem.
I hear violence, I hear your physical, I hear...
No.
Whatever the story is, we could take it anyway.
No.
There's never a reason to be violent to the next.
Fame is very toxic. And we're living in an age of highest level of toxicity.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we're looking forward to the Feathers, which are happening in November. Is it a date?
11th November.
11/11/21.
If you want to keep in touch with us without spreading the germs, Facebook is at Official Rukopoza, or look at RGB on Instagram and Twitter using @OfficialRGB. And remember to use the hashtag #Rukopoza.
Bantu, if you do prefer doing your digital chatting directly, hit him up at Sam_Mangese. Are you single right now, my friend?
And yes,
like within this half hour of the show.
I don't know today.
Okay, sure. I
don't know today.
But I'm at Sinazo Yolwa. But ningangeni man ku DMs. Usekho la mantsingilane namhlanje. But mhlambe try again tomorrow. Mwah, papayini izobonana next week.